meant for CSA and CSSA level. So we covered
Okay.
all the CSA topics, and we cover most of the CSSA topics which are required for working in real-time scenarios. So this course is designed for 30 days. So first 14 days we will cover all the basic topics. I mean to make sure that you get familiar with the tool. So this is a Pega tool. So by 13 days we will complete a simple application, end-to-end application, like automating the HR process using the Pega. So by 13 days we will cover all the CSA level topics. I mean CSA means here in Pega we have three levels of certifications:
Yeah,
CSA,
yeah.
CSSA, and LSA. So the first 13 days are for we will cover all the CSA level topics, and then from day 14 we will start with the advanced topics. So during 13 days also we will cover advanced level, not like in CSA level they will touch it and leave it, but if you want to work in real-time projects we need to know the depth of the each and everything. So even for 13 days also we will cover all the rules with the depth knowledge. And then from day 14 we'll start with advanced topics like in a multi-level environment what are required, like in check-in and checkout functionality, and advanced rules like activities, how to connect to database and get the data, what are the different methods we have. We'll discuss that one. We'll also discuss agents and reports, debugging tools, which are advanced for the which is generally used in the CSSA level. I will also discuss integration points like SOAP service, how to connect to SOAP service, and how to get the data from the web service. We will also see that one. So like from day 14 we will use advanced topics which are really useful in if you want to work in the live projects. That is about a simple agenda of the this course. So once we will share you the software for your practice. So whatever the topics we are discussing, you need to practice them on your system, and definitely will get it doubts, and we will what we call we will discuss them. And if you have any doubts regarding the course, you can ask me now. So I'm not going day by day content.
Okay. But actually, I don't have any knowledge about Pega, so how it works.
Yeah, I mean, no. I mean, you mean to say you are from any other background? Do you have any other knowledge, other experience like Java?
Yeah, nah, Java, I don't have any, but I know just OOPS concepts, basics.
I mean, for learning the Pega, no need of any experience. So
Okay.
because it's a tool, everything is like that. I mean, we don't write any code. We will just use the tool and we'll develop an application. Then
No,
not
I
then.
just have idea. I just have idea about the tool, how it works, like some rules, the predefined rules. Just need to know how to make use of
Yeah,
them to get. Yeah.
that's fine. I mean, then it's easy for you to cope up with somewhat faster than others.
Yeah.
Okay, so for today, we'll discuss about that Designer Studio. We have in Pega, we have three types of portals: Designer Studio, Manager, and Worker. So this Designer Studio is for developers. So as we are developers, we need to know what are the different options available in the Designer Studio. I will walk you through so that from the next time onwards, you will be following with me. So we have some terminology. You need to follow. Remember the terminology. Let me open the tool. So this is once you log in with an operator. So let's assume some operator. So we didn't create any application so far. So I used existing application operator ID to show you this demonstration to go through the Business Studio. So once you log in as a developer, you will see this window. So the Business Studio will be useful to develop an application. So to develop that application, we need to know what are the different options available in this and how to navigate navigation options, what we call them. We'll see one by one. The first one is this studio is this port this is also a portal, developer portal. this is designed, I mean, this is divided into multiple parts like header. The first one is header part. On the right side, you can see some this is called left navigation, and you can see the footer is also there, and work area is also there. This is the whiteboard, whatever wherever you see from home. This is called work area, like header, left navigation, footer, and work area. Like the screen is divided into multiple parts. So first we'll start with header. So in the header, you can see the first thing is Pega 7. So this Pega 7 logo is there. When you click this one, the home page will be displayed. So by default, home page will be displayed. Even if you display some other roles, if you click this this Pega 7 button, it will go to the home page. Let me open that. Let me click again. See here. Even if you open this, if you click this Pega 7, directly come to home page. That means when you click Pega 7, the home tab will be opened. So this is Designer Studio. This is called, if you want to add the landing pages, or we can them Designer menu, we call them, or generally people call them Designer Studio. Okay, this is called Designer Studio menu, or developer menu, some people call them, but just remember this is the Designer Studio. When I say Designer Studio, you need to click this one. So this is the terminology we need to remember. So here we will having number of menus and sub menus, and at the end of the each option, you will get a landing page. Landing page is a place where we manage all the related stuff. Related stuff means, so here if you're showing to application profile requirements, if you click requirements, all the requirements will be gathered and will be managed there. That is called landing page. We call them. So all the landing pages will be managed by, opened by using this Designer Studio menu. So we have different landing pages for different purposes. Like if you want to display requirements, you can use it. If you want to open the if you want to open the APIs available in the system, if you want to, you can open like this. Like that, each and every option will be having some landing page. Is managed for displaying some rules. And if you want to if you want to display all the email listeners or email accounts, okay, you can use this one. Like that, based on the purpose, we need to open the corresponding landing pages. But just remember, Visual Studio will be useful to open the landing pages. And this is called application menu. So whatever the application, can you please mute Narendra? I can hear the resonance. So if you have any doubts, you can unmute and ask. So this is called application menu. So once you create an application, this will be created beside this cubicle symbol. So if you want to open the application, just click the existing application, and you can see application menu have some options. So when I say application menu, you need to click here. When I say Designer Studio, you need to click here. And then here you can see, if you want to open the existing application, click open application. If you want to see the overview of an application, click on this. All the application related stuff will be residing in the application menu. And if you have access to multiple applications, and if you want to switch to different application, you have a switch application. You have this particular operator having access to 3 applications. So if you want to switch to other application, just click on that. Directly the application will be switched to that mode, that application. It's still processing. You can see Swoop demo is coming. Let me again go back to demo application. So if you want to switch, you can switch like this. And then this launch button will be useful to open the other portals. Like this is developer portal. If you want to launch open, you can say launch means opening. So if you want to open the manager portal, or if you want to open the user portal, click on this, it will display the available portals. So you can see the options are coming. Just click on that, a separate window will be opened by opening the portal. That means launch will be useful to open the portals or to launch the portals, we call them. Create button will be useful. This is for two purposes. This will, I mean, once you create a case, here case is nothing but a business transaction. We call them business transaction, a end-to-end business transaction, like creating applying for a loan, like interview process. So each one is a case. So if you want to run the case, once you create the case, you need to run the case, right? If you want to run the case, you can use this one, create button, and then case option is there. You can see these are the already existing available cases. If you want to run them, you can use that create button. That is one use case of this create button. And one more option available. If you want to create the new rules, you can also use this create button. So the same button will be useful to run the existing cases or to create the new rules. You can see from the bottom, you can see some divided line is there, right? Horizontal line below the case, you can see some horizontal line. So from there, this is like, if you want to create a property rule, you can go to, first you need to know the particular category. So you will get to know what are the different categories, I mean, by end of the course, because you need to remember that. So like data model, I mean, the properties will reside in data model category. So you need to go to particular category, then you need to select the particular rule if you want to create the particular rule. So for property, you need to go to data model and then property rule. Like that, if you want to create a flow rule, go to process and then go to flow rule. Like that, if you want to create a case, I mean, if you want to create a rules directly, you can also create by using this create button. In the same way, if you want to run the existing cases, you can also run the existing cases. And then coming to the right part of the header. Okay, this is left side, this is the right side, right? So coming to right side of the header, here you can see search option is there. This search option will be useful to search the rules in the application. Let's say you want to search some py label property. So you don't know the complete the rule name, but you can also search it by using like this. So all the rules with that name, with that string, with that name will come here, and whichever you want, just open that one. This is just very useful to search your rules in the application. So you don't remember the full rule name, you can just type part of the rule name. Whatever you remember, just type it here and search it, and you can see you will get a lot of rules with that name. So whichever you want, you need to select that one. This is just for searching the rules within the application. And then you can see private button is there. This private button is useful in a multi-developer environment, like so where you have check-in checkout capabilities. That is again advanced topic, somewhat advanced to discuss at this stage, but I will give you overview. The check-in and checkout is nothing but in a multi-developer environment, multiple people will be working on the same rule. Multi-developer environment, right? So in a team, so let's say 3 people are working. So all the 3 people will be working for same application, right? And all the 3 people are using the same rules. Whatever the rules you created, they can modify it and they can create new rules and they can modify existing rules. Let's say they want to update the existing rule. So how can they update? So here what they will do is, here whatever before doing modifications, everything will be saved into database, right? So when you save the data into database, and when you open the same rule, let's say rule A is there, and if the data is there in the database and you want to modify it, first you need to check out it. Checkout means getting the database version into your control. Getting the database version into your control. and that means you are doing modifications. So once you complete the your work, you have done your modifications, then you have to check in. Check in means saving back to the database again, so that other people can access it. So during your updation, other people cannot see the changes which are being done by you. When you check out, it will be your control. Until you check in, the other people cannot see the changes. Okay, once you check out, you can need to check in. So we'll discuss more about check in and check out. But here the private button will display all the checkout rules. So whichever the rules you checked out, like this, whichever the rules you checked out, if you want to if you want to display all the things in the one place, you can use this private button. Just click that one. These are the rules I checked out as part of this application. Okay, and if you want to check in bulk manner, you can use bulk actions. Okay, individually also you can check in. Just click what we call. Just click like this, and you can also check in, or else check-in option is coming, or else you can also use this bulk option, bulk actions, to directly check in all the rules at a time. Okay. And then resources, as the name indicates, resources, all the Pega, it may be a help, it may be a existing APIs. If you want to access all of them, you can use it here. Just click on that if you want to get Pega 7 help file. So this is best option if you want to know new features. I mean, theoretically you can use this Pega 7 help. Just click Pega 7 help. It will display all the rules available in the Pega tool. Just you can use contents, otherwise you can also search it. Let's say you want to know some decision table rule. Just type part of the ECI decision part of the string, and it will display all the rules which starts with the decision. Here I want to display, I want to know about decision tables. Just click on that. Click about decision tables. You can see the full theory is coming here. So if you want to know more about any rules here, as the theory part, you can use this tool as for learning purpose. And then PDN network, we call them PDN, Pega Discovery Network, is a external website where you can register, and you can access the Pega related stuff, articrafts, Pega related stuff. That means you can post the questions there, and some other people will respond there. I can also access the Pega stuff, all the Pega related technology. All the Pega related articrafts will be there. So for that you need to have you need to register for this external website, not related to Pega tool. You need to register for that with your corporate ID, not your not your personal ID. So you need to access that by using the corporate IDs. And then what's new? So this is also open the Pega 7 help. So all these things will be useful to know something about Pega tool. Okay, so most of the times this will be useful if you want to open the APIs. You can see what are the APIs available. And then if you want to know the operator details, so this is the operator name. Whoever logged in, you can see the details here. If you want to see the profile, you can see here. And you want to open the operator record, you can see operator profile. If you want to open the operator record, you can open the different options are available. This is called operator menu. Okay, that is about header. Most of the times we will be using this one, Designer Studio menu, application menu, launch, opening the portals, create to run the case, as well as to create the new rules. This is for searching, and this is for seeing the checked out rules, and this is for just for resources. So the name indicates resources. So if you want to learn something about Pega, you can use this resources tab, and you can use the options available here. And this is about operator menu. Whoever logged into the system, they can see here. And coming to left navigation. So this left navigation is containing some options here. This is called explorers. We call them explorers. And remember the terminology again. When I say app explorer, this is called app. When I say app explorer, you need to go here. When I say recent explorer, you need to click this here. When I say Data Explorer, you need to click here. That means each thing is an explorer. So we will discuss what is the use of each explorer. Recent Explorer will be useful to display all the recent items you open, all the recent rules you open. The latest 20 rules you open will be reside in the Recent Explorer. You can see here like this, or else if you want to search the recent items, you can also search it here. This is searching only within the recent, not like searching entire system. This is only searching the recent items. Okay, so search like this. And then cases. Case Explorer will be useful to display the. We have case. We generally we also create one case as part of this course, like interview process for the human resource for the HR department. We'll create a case interview process. How this interview process will be executed by using the Pega application. So a case is nothing but an end-to-end transaction. End-to-end transaction means starting with applying for a position until the onboarding process. Internally, there are a lot of processes is there, like collecting the information and screening the profiles, and then scheduling the interview, and then on the interview date they will conduct the interview and they will give the feedback whether you're selected or rejected, and then they will discuss about the compensation, and then they will send you the notification about the joining formalities, and then you join on the joining date. This is the process. This is a typical interview process. In the same way, if you go for loan application, or else if you go for purchasing some purchase order items, let's say Flipkart, you order something. This is a process. First you need to select items and you need to add them to the cart, and then you need to check out those cart items and you need to do the payment. That is about giving the order. That is a ordering the items. And then once you order the items, what Flipkart will do? Flipkart will start the shipping process, a fulfillment process internally. That's not visible to the customer, but it's again a process. It's again a process. It's a streamlined process will be there with the Flipkart. Once you receive the order, they will get the codes from the different vendors. Whatever by default vendors will be displayed. Sometimes directly if the vendor is already assigned to that, it will directly send the details to the sender. The vendor, whoever is selling the item from the Flipkart, and then they will start the shipping process, like packing the items, and then registering a courier, and then once the answer is dispatched, again the courier process will start. We can see what is the current status of each and every item of the Flipkart. It's a streamlined process, and we can achieve those processes by using the cases. So if you want to see the cases as part of created as part of your application, you can use this Cases Explorer to display all the cases available within your application. So if you want to see all the data model of your application, you can use this Data Explorer. Data Explorer will display all the data model available within your application. Data model means data classes. So if you want to, that's again somewhat advanced here, but if you have knowledge on other technologies, we will create different classes to store the data, right? So if you want to store the data, so we need to have some classes to store the data. So if you want to see those data classes here, you can go for Data Explorer. App Explorer will display the complete structure of an application. Like even if you're working on Java, other technologies, we will use different tools. Like if you use Java, we will use the Eclipse tool to display the structure. The structure means we will be having some structure like project name, and then different folders will be there if you use other technologies. But here folders won't become. Here the only rules. Everything is a rule here. And if you want to see the complete structure of your project or your application, here we don't call them project. Here we call them as application. If you want to see the complete structure of an application, you can go for App Explorer. You can see complete structure of an application, like what is your application name, and then what are the at application level, what are the different Again, you will see only categories at a high level, but once you expand the categories, you can see actual rules, properties, data transform rules, everything is there. Okay, but if you want to see the complete structure of an application, you can go for app. From here also you can create the rules wherever you want, at which level you want to create a rule. Just click on that and go to create option. Again, the same categories will come. Whatever you see here, the same categories will come. And you need to go to particular category and you need to go to particular rule. And then records. The records, this will be useful if you, if you know the part of this rule, you can search it here. But if you don't know if you don't know what is the rule name, what you can do here also categories will be displayed. Let's say you want to know the property names available in the system. All the property names available in the system. You can go to, I know that the properties are under a data model category. Click on the data model, expand the data model. You can see property option is there. Just click on that. What it will do, to display a landing page of the properties. Landing page means where all the little stuff will be accumulated. Here I'm opening the properties, display all the properties available in the system. I'm saying available in the system, not in the application. Even with the Pega application, internally we are building an application on top of Pega, right? Even Pega also having some properties. If you want to know all the properties available in the system, even with other applications, you can use this landing page. And here also you can also search here to display all the landing pages. You can search like this, or else if you know the part of the string, you can also search here. Search option is here, or else if you know the full part of the if you want to know the properties of your application, you can also search here. This is option. If you want to know other applications properties, you can come to this landing page and you can also search here. You will see a lot of properties are there. Each page is having 50 records, and I have more than 10 that means 10 pages. It will go to 20. That means it's going. There are thousands of properties available in the system. So if you want to know all the rules, I'm just opening properties. Like this, you can open any rule. If you open the decision tables, you can also expand this one like this, and you can open like this. If you want to see all the rules of the decision table rules available in the system. So you need to come to records explorer, and you need to go to particular category and you need to open the rule, whichever the rule you want to access. Just for reading, just knowing purpose. You cannot do anything here. Just we can know it. What is the rule name and where the rule is residing and who is modifying it. This private option, this is called private explorer. The private checkbox, this private explorer. This option is also useful. This is also same as this one. So you can use either of this one. So whatever the details you are displaying here, the same details will also display here. All the checked out records, you can see all the things. Private explorer will be useful to see the checked out records. This favorites. So you can make some things as a favorite, so that it will be automatically come here in the favorites. So you can for the fast accessing. So you can make anything as a favorite for the fast accessing. It may be class, it may be any rule, so that you will directly can display them in the favorite explorer. And then coming to footer. The footer is mainly for debugging purpose. So if you want to, all contains debugging tools or performance tools. So let's say during development, you need to lot of issues will come. You need to fix that and you need to analyze the issues. So for analyzing purpose, we'll use the debugging tools. First one is tracer. So we are not going to cover in depth about the tracer. We have a separate topics for the tracer, clipboard, and live UI. We have a separate topic for debugging tools. But let me give you the footer will be having all the debugging tools. Like tracer will give you the step-by-step execution of a particular rule or application. While running the case, if you want to know the step-by-step execution of your application, the tracer will record all the step-by-step execution, so that wherever error comes, we can also stress here. So this is the second level debug. If you initially we'll use clipboard tool to identify the root cause. If you are unable to use the clipboard tool, you can go for tracer. Clipboard is also useful for the debugging purpose as well as for the the clipboard. This is like if you want to see the data available in the memory, Generally, you are running the case and you give some values there. I mean, we're running the application, the case, you will give some data, where the data will be residing in the memory, right? If you want to see the data in the memory, you can see the clipboard. Clipboard is nothing but a memory represent. Memory representation we can call. So whatever the data is there in the memory, the same data will be represented as a clipboard format with some we call them as a property what we call property value pairs. So you can see the page name here. When you expand this, you can see actual values here, the properties and the actual values. Like this, you can first if you want to check the data. I mean, once you run the case will be having some ID, and you will create a PY workpage like this. And once you click on the display all the properties in the PY work page, and you can also verify the data whether it is properly, whether you are getting this is the value, this is the property. So whether you are getting correct value or not for that property, you can verify it here. This is for initial debugging. So if you are unable to debug the issue and identify the issue in clipboard, you can go for tracer, where you will see the step-by-step execution, and where we can come to know where we're getting the issue. So anyway, we have separate topics for that. Just remember, these are the debugging tools. So live UI will be useful to identify a particular rule on the UI. This is a UI, right? So if you want to know the rule names of this part, you can just click on live UI, and whichever part you want to know on the UI, just mouse over on there to display the correct rule name. Just click on I symbol. You can see this is a referring section. Section is generally useful for designing the UI. So this UI is designed in this particular section. So like that, well, within your application as well as anywhere in the Pega, if you want to see the UI controls or UI elements, you can use this live UI. Okay, so that you can use the live UI and you can directly update. During runtime also you can use live UI. This is also useful for the newcomers. I mean, already some application is there and you join in the middle. So how can you know what the section is used and what is the rule name they are using? You cannot go through your application explorer and you cannot see that one, right? You can run the application. During running itself, you can use live UI and you can mouse over like this, whichever the part you want to know, to display the details, like what is the section name, what is the different UI controls they used for building up this one. And you can open like this, and you can also see the design time configuration, how they have designed it. Like this, you can use the live UI too. And then the performance will be useful. The performance option will be useful to know the performance of an application. This is very advanced here. These alerts and performance both will be useful for the performance to record the performance or to track the performance of an application. And this PDN button will be useful to open the PDN website again. And this indicates the version I'm using. So I'm using Pega 7.1.8, and this is the somewhat latest version. Most of the people are still using 7.16 in the industry. So we are giving the course on the 7.18. That is about, and you can see whatever you see in the whiteboard. This is called work area. This is called work area. Whenever you open any rule, the rule will be opened in the work area only. Let me open some rule here. The rule is opening in the work area only. So you need to develop here only. So all the development will be done in the work area only. So here you need to, this is called work area, where the user will work on the rules. That is about step by step of the Designer Studio, walkthrough of the Designer Studio. And if you have any doubts, you can ask me now here on this.
Yes, so Pega is all about rules and rule sets, is it?
Yes.
So you showed me under case there will be like some what we call rules or like data model, flow, under the create, top of the headers.
Yeah.
So you showed me some cases. So these application definition, data model, those are already predefined by tool, is it?
Yes, I mean whatever the rules available in the system, it will display here. So why they did the categories, based on some functionality, related functionality, they combined some rules and they created a category on the, for that rules. So inside data model category, you can see these particular rules. These are the different rules available in the data model category, like properties, data input, data transform rules, data page. And if you go to decision category, you can see decision rules. Okay.
Oh,
This is
so
just for.
and about check-in and check-out, okay.
Hmm.
So check-in and check-out is like a lock and unlock. So if see, I
It's
have
not.
done some mod.
That is
So
misconception. Lock and unlock. I mean, for understanding purpose, some other people may tell you like this, but it's not for locking and unlocking. I will tell you. I'm opening paid attribution. So right now it is under my control because I checked out it. Okay.
okay,
During this time, so this will be useful again. I'm saying in a multi-developer environment. If there is a single developer, no use of this second checkout. But in general, in real times, there will be multiple developers working on the same project. So multiple people will be using the same rule again. There is a chance. So once you check out this particular rule, this is not about locking the rule. Okay, you are doing these modifications and this is under your control. So during that time, if any other people, other person is opening the same rule, as you said, they will get a message saying that so and so message, so and so rule is being modified by so and so person. But still, if you want to update, let's say, I mean, person A is there, person B is there. Let's say I will open with some other. So I'm opening different browser. I will show you this. So I logged in as the administrator here. This is one developer. Let's say some other developer is logged into the system. So they will get a message. The second person, this is the first person. Second person will get a message saying that so and so, so and so person is being modified this role. I mean, if the second person is okay, he can leave it. He can ignore this. He can ignore modifying this one. I mean, anyway, because first person is already being modified. The second person can ignore the changes. I mean, he can ignore the doing the changes and he can go ahead with the different rules. But second person want to also, he's a rigid person. He also want to do the modifications. I'm using admin one. This is a different person. So in the Chrome, I log in with administrator. In the Chrome, in the IE, I'm logging with a different operator called admin one. So this is two different operators, different developers. So now I want to access the same rule, like paid attribution. Let me check that one like this, and let me open the same. I can open it, but I'm getting some lock option here. When you click this lock option, you'll get a message. The record was locked by admin because I already logged in with admin here and I already opened it one. I'm doing modifications to that one. That is why I'm getting the record was checked out by admin, and we I mean, by seeing this message, the second person can come to know that already some person is working on this and he can ignore this one. He can ignore doing modifications. That is one option. But he's a rigid person. He also want to do the modifications. What he can do? He can go for private edit and he can also do the modifications. He can also do the modifications. Then what happens when you check in? So when you check in, the, the second person cannot check in until the first person check-ins because he already opened it first time. So he need to check in first, and then the second person can check in again on top of the first person changes.
so see, so let's say there are two people are working on the same application. So I have done any modification on the any rule set. So can second person can get to know what I have done.
Yes, definitely. When you check in like this, let me let me change the history here and let me check in. So while giving the check-in, right, you need to give proper comment. Added usage check-in. I'm going to check in here, but I'm going again to close here. Here, when you try to check in, this rule has been updated by administrator. Since you checked it out, before continuing, you need to manually merge the changes made by the avatar app and river privacy checked out watch. Give a clear message saying already some other operator already checked out and doing the and he did the modification and checked in. So before that check in, please check, please refresh it so that you will get a latest information from the first operator. Go to UC install, is still not coming. Or else what you can do is you can discard it, your changes. That means you will get a latest version from the database. On top of that you can work. If you want to check in, what will happen is you need to merge it, not like directly checking in. You need to merge it. Merging means combining the changes, manually combining. It's not like automation combining. Manually you need to see the changes. Further, what you need to do, you need to first discard it. Discard it. Now if you go to this history, whatever I added there, you can see here. Now you can check in, check out, and you can do the modifications. At a time, two people cannot check in. So whoever is first checked in, checked out, they can check in, and second person can do the modifications, but he cannot check in directly. Okay.
Yeah.
In real time, what happens is, I mean, in real time it won't happen. Developers won't work on the same rule. Anyway, I mean, but option is there to work on it. Sometimes, I mean, for unit testing purpose, not people. Let's say I have an issue, but I don't have the solution. I ask all the developers to work on to find the solution. So all the people will check out and they will try working on that. Whoever got the solution, they will check in. Okay. So in those scenarios, generally we will use this option, checking out by multiple people. I mean, checking out by one person only, but the other people will do the privated option, so that he can also do the modification and he can also test the changes. And whoever got the success first time, and other people will discard all the rules, and whoever got the solution, he will check in.
Yep. Okay.
Generally,
Fine.
it happens like that. Okay, and do you have any other doubts in the studio?
Yeah. That data explorer, is that only to store data or?
Not storing. I'm not talking about storing. This for displaying the data model available in your application. Data model of your application. Like what is the class name and what are the properties. Not about storing.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
That is about Designer Studio. I mean, we will be using this studio going forward for each and every session. So you need to familiar with the terminology here. And tomorrow we'll start with the actual topic, like how we can create the operators, and what are the different options available in the operator, and how we can create the rule set, and how we can create the rule set version, and how we can manage them, and what are the different things we need to remember while creating the rule sets or managing the rule sets. We will see tomorrow.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay then. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Akila, do you have any doubts?
No, sir, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. So we'll meet tomorrow and we'll discuss the rest of the topics. Thank you. Thank you for your time.